and welcome back to another episode of Chatting with Chip with Barton College football head coach Chip Hester. I am Wilson Times sports editor Paul Durham, and we're here to talk about last week's season opening win, Coach. It was a Thursday night game, and I know we talked about it earlier in the week. Obviously, it was like a first game in a lot of ways, a lot of things as coaches you want to do better. But let's talk about the good first, because you guys played some great defense. Played some great offense across the board, throwing, running, everything. What are the things that you guys are pretty happy about seeing your team do that first game against a quality opponent up there at Chowan?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is when it's all said and done, you want to find a way to win a football game. And our guys found a way to win a football game. I thought our defense flew around, caused all kinds of issues for their offense. They never could get in any kind of rhythm, and created some turnovers, which was really huge for us. Set us up offensively a little bit. So we did a lot right. Jordan Terrell had over 175 yards of rushing. We made some big plays, some explosive plays in the passing game with Cam Johnson from Jaquan Lynch. So we did a lot really well, but we've got a lot to work on.
Absolutely, Coach. And let's talk a little bit more about doing a lot of things well, because I have to ask you, when you guys go into a game like this, everybody knows who's getting that ball, number one. And he got 38 times, and he still ran over it. But it seems to me like, and we talked about this in the past, your offense is a three-legged beast. When you get that passing game working like you did early with Cam throwing or getting the long ball from Jaquan, the quarterback, and then Jaquan running for, 60, 70 yards himself. A mobile quarterback, a good passing game. Did that really open things up for Jordan, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's a formula to winning for us.
Right.
And that formula is being able to run the football and creating some explosive opportunities in the passing game. And when you get those things, it makes people play you a little more honest, and then we've got some guys that can make some plays, and so I thought that worked out really well, and so offensively, did we complete everything like we wanted to in the red zone? No, we didn't. Turned the ball over a couple times, but I feel like we're on the right track, and I think the thing that's key for us in winning football games is our offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage, and I think that happened. They were tough. They gave us a lot of looks. I thought our guys handled it pretty well, and we're committed to the run, and so we're trying to bang in there, and eventually you're going to start breaking a little longer, and I think it wears down a defense, and so. And then we've got some speed on the outside that we can take advantage of some one-on-ones, and did that. And so we've shown some promise, but there's a lot to work on still.
Absolutely. Jordan Terrell will absolutely wear down a defense, just pounding that line over and over and over. That's a great weapon to have, obviously. Coach, we talked about the problems, obviously the 3 turnovers. You guys made 10 offensive turnovers all last year. You had 3 on Saturday. Not good. Some special teams glitches I think need to be cleaned up. But overall, how do you feel about those mistakes, and how do you go about correcting them? I know turnovers is that's the eternal question, right?
Yeah, no question. I think they did a good job of putting their helmet right on a ball on the fumble, and then they had a free rusher, and it's a hot force, and that means they're bringing one more guy than you can block, and so. If we get the ball off, it's a big play, but the guy tips it, and then they make a good play there. And then another one was a bad decision, just throwing late across the middle, back across your body. You don't need to do that. But look, we had mistakes all over the place, and I think that's typical in a first game. It's something that you'd like to not have those little things in the kicking game and coverage and things like that, but. It's different when the lights are on and it's a real game, and they're you can only hit and go live so often, or you're going to get yourself banged up in preseason. So really the first game is the first real time that you're going full out and tackling people, including the quarterback. And so I'm pleased because I think our team competed. I think their effort was really good. and so those are things that you can't coach, and so that's really good. We can coach the mistakes and the little mental things and the little tweaks, but when you got a Matt Smith running around out there making play after play, you got Shane Perry, the defensive line. J.L. Ledbetter was dominant, I thought, up front, and then Mike Webb making plays. Once again, he finds the ball. Then you've got a chance to win ball games. That's for sure.
Yeah, Coach, you have assembled a group of playmakers here, offensively and defensively, and it's always fun to see which guy's going to step up and do something big each week. Let's move on to this week. You guys have had several days of practice under your belt after having the weekend off, back on the normal schedule, playing on Saturday. And you got a strange opponent this week, one that I guess is a little bit different, but maybe not so different. And Davidson, an FCS NCAA Division I team, and a pretty good one.
Right.
Another thing that's ultimately not going to matter in the SAC, but early in the season, it's going to go a long ways towards, I guess, in every team's mind, how good are we? I think every week is a sort of a referendum on that. You guys passed that test last week. How do you feel about going into Davidson this week? Where are your guys' heads at, and what do you expect to see from the Wildcats?
Well, yeah, I think what we're trying to focus on with our guys, being humble and hungry, that's something that we want to be every week, and we want to have kind of a next challenge mentality. So what's the next challenge? And so the next challenge is a big one. It's a team that was in the FCS playoffs last year. They're a good football team. They won 8 ball games last year. And so it's going to be a challenge. It's a little bit different offense, so they run an option attack, which will be, again, a different challenge for our guys on defense. And so I'm anxious to see how our guys respond. I think one of the things that we get in our first 2 games are challenging opponents, and hopefully what you're trying to do in the non-conference portion of your schedule is prepare yourself for the conference. And I think we definitely did not schedule cupcakes. We scheduled teams that are really going to make a stretch and strain and try to compete on another level. And so I'm excited about that opportunity for our guys. You don't get an opportunity to play up, and so this is a great opportunity that hopefully we can take advantage of.
Absolutely, it'll be fun. I mean, you guys have played 2 teams. I don't think Barton / Atlantic Christian College in the 2 previous versions of football. I'd have to check on Davidson. They've been around. I don't think we've ever played them.
Yeah, I don't think so. Coach Abel, the head coach there at Davidson, has done just a wonderful job. I was looking, and the 5 previous years before he got there, they won a total of 7 games. Well, since he's been there, now they've completely turned it around. They won 8 in one season last year. So he and that coaching staff does a wonderful job. They have done a really good job. They nationally recruit, so they've got a quarterback from California and guys from Texas and all over the place. So we're going to be challenged. Right now the forecast is calling for some rain, and so that'll add another element. But again, I think in the development of our football program, these are things that you need to accomplish and have under your belt so that you can prepare yourself. Playing good non-conference teams, playing in bad conditions, playing maybe some FCS opponents and some things like that. So they're in the Patriot League, which is a little bit different deal, but man, they're a good football team, and we'll have to compete in order to have a chance this weekend.
Yeah, I would think that size-wise, you guys would stack up pretty well. SAT scores maybe not so much. Davidson's a great school, so I think that's one thing they have the advantage of with their academics. But other than that, hey, you guys, I would think a good D2 team and an FCS team, size and speed, maybe not so much different.
Yeah, they're not one of the bigger teams that we'll play, but I think if you look at their team, you're going to look at them more like a Navy or an Army,
right.
Which they're recruiting a little bit different type of guy. So they don't want 305-pound offensive tackles. They're looking for those 280, 285 that are because of the scheme that they run. So I think in the secondary, they're going to be big. They're 220-pound safeties and 200-pound safeties and 6 foot, 6'2" corners and things like that. So I've been impressed with the guys that they've recruited. They've done a really good job, And I think, for our guys, the challenge continues to be, we're not going to fear anyone. So that's just not how we want to operate. We want to respect everyone we play, and obviously the team that's a playoff caliber team, we've got a lot of respect for. But that's standard operating procedure for us, and it's a great opportunity, to play, to see where you stand up against the team that was in the playoffs last year.
And it's another road trip, Coach. I have to ask you the last question here today. You guys are playing, 4 straight road games. You don't play here till the 24th, right?
24th, so including the last year's away game, that is. But here's the thing with us, and I'm really pretty strong on this with our players is I don't want excuses. We don't want to make excuses or explanations or anything. So I don't mind it, and I know I love playing at home, and our crowd brings energy, and we can feed on that. But I just don't want our guys to even have any kind of hint at this is an excuse or this is something that's negative for us. Hey, our mentality needs to be, hey, we'll meet you at a high school and play, and that's just how we want that mentality to be. And I think, again, that's for our football team, but that's also for life lessons. There's going to be some things out of your control in your life, and so how you respond to it and how you adapt and overcome, that's going to be the important part.
Absolutely, but you guys have got to be looking forward to the 24th, at least to play home, get to do the Bulldog Walk, have all your fans.
Absolutely.
If you guys aren't looking forward to it, I know everybody in Wilson's looking forward to it. So
we definitely are.
We're super excited about getting to play here, and grateful that we can follow the Bulldogs online and watch the games on the internet, and that's an awesome thing in this day and age. So. But next week we'll be back. We had to change the date a little bit, but we'll be back next week for sure with Coach Hester and another episode of Chatting with Chip. So please come back and see us then.